So Marvel Rivals is a video game that's like this like multiplayer team based shooter. It's kind of like built, I would say, off of Overwatch or games like that. And you pick your character and you work on a team and you try to do things like capture the flag or certain goals of deathmatch, and you do all types of cool things. But the thing about the game is it's gotten really popular, and one of the reasons why it got popular in the first place is because the character designs were pretty cool. Some of the girls was pretty curvy and sexy, and people were looking at it saying, "Oh, this is over sexualization of women and this and that." But if you look at it, if you're gonna go on the over sexualization of women in Marvel, you're gonna have to go over the men too, because the men wear skin tight clothes as well. So it ain't just sexy ladies; it's also like the men are wearing very revealing, muscular, skin tight spandex outfits. But Marvel Rivals, I never really played it, but it is supposed to be a very good game. And part of the reason why it's a very good game is because from what I heard and what I read, it's not really developed in the West. It's developed by Japanese developers, which is better because they don't have a lot of the woke nonsense that we do. Now, what's going on with Marvel Rivals? Did we have an article, Mr. Producer?
Yeah. So
If not, I can just read it.
we've got a couple things here. There's something here about let me just pull this off here. Yeah, there's something here about Marvel game bans the words "Free Taiwan" and Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, read some of that for us.
Players of Marvel Rivals, developed with the Chinese firm NetEase, have accused the company of blocking phrases that are deemed unacceptable in China.
Do you get why they're banning Winnie the Pooh? Well, a lot of people probably know this already, but do you understand that?
Yeah.
It's because people have been calling the Chinese president Winnie the Pooh because they say he resembles Winnie the Pooh. So what happened is, in video games, people have been making fun of the Chinese president by doing things like just either showing pictures of Winnie the Pooh,
Yeah,
or saying the word Winnie the Pooh. So this is how controlling China is. They banned the word Winnie the Pooh from being said.
yeah.
They banned it.
They banned Pooh.
Yeah, they won't let you call the president. Now, they won't let you call the president Winnie the Pooh. Here's the craziest thing that Americans don't consider: how much freedom we actually have in this country.
Yeah.
They can't even make fun of their president by equating him to a made up Disney character without getting in trouble. They're not allowed to say that, but they are allowed to say a couple of things. So let's continue reading. You can bring up number 2.
So 2 goes on to say this. This is more about the game.
Yeah.
So the game was developed by Marvel in conjunction with the Chinese developer NetEase and released in December. However, players have been blocked from typing in words such as Tiananmen Square and Wuhan virus in the chat function. They are met with the warning, text contains inappropriate content.
Now, do you know what Tiananmen Square is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened is, and I watched a documentary on this about a couple years ago, is during a protest in China. This goes to show you too, you need to appreciate what country you live in if it has any monicum of freedom. During a protest in China, the people went to the streets with their picket signs and they were not happy about how the government was treating them. And the Chinese government warned them, y'all better go home. Y'all better go home. And guess what? They didn't go home.
There's that picture of that person standing in front of that tank.
Yeah, so that kind of happened after the massacre. Because what happened is the Chinese government, they was not playing with their own people. They brought out tanks and machine guns and they gunned their own people down. People will complain when our ICE officers arrest illegal immigrants, they're throwing a fit. But in China, you protested too much and they brought their tanks out and they gunned their own people down. This happened in the 90s. Not too long ago. This ain't like 1881. So when this happened, it's called Tiananmen Square because isn't that where it took place? Like the massacre took place?
I believe so. Yes.
And
Mhm.
so people now troll China in video games saying, oh, they might lose, say they lose to a Chinese person, or they might just type in Tiananmen Square, which is kind of petty. Like, that's kind of evil because people really died there, y'all. Like, I think it's funny that it's so over the top that people will go that far with video game, but have some respect,
Right.
like some people really
Right.
did die
Yeah.
at these things, and it
Mhm.
shows how evil the CCP is
Yeah.
and how little regard they have for human life in their own country. So they did that. And now in Marvel Rivals, you can't even type about that because the government in China will regulate everything down to the smallest word you type. We can continue reading. I
Okay.
don't know where you left off.
Oh, yeah. So, other restricted phrases include free Taiwan, free Hong Kong, free Tibet, Taiwan as a country, Taiwan number one, even 1989, the year of the Tiananmen Square massacre.
Oh, 1989. So
Yeah.
it's right about
Right.
before the
Right.
90s.
Yeah. Chatting about Mao Zedong or the Dalai Lama is also banned.
Why the Dalai Lama? What did they do? Chinese people, man, y'all gotta stop. You
Yeah.
gotta
I
stop
mean,
this evil dictator from just telling y'all can't talk about nothing he don't like. If he don't like cupcakes, he gonna stop people from eating cupcakes. Like, come on, dude. I think we can go. We
yeah.
can go to the next
Yeah.
slide.
Because poor Winnie the Pooh again.
Winnie the Pooh done got caught up in this crossfire.
Here's
This is
one.
a funny
Here
picture,
we
by the
go.
way.
So this is where that comparison comes into play here. So popular gamers have posted videos of themselves trying to type in the words. Asmongold, the YouTuber, is allowed to type in the words "Taiwan sucks" and "Taiwan is bad," only to be blocked when trying "Free Taiwan."
Because China, if for those who don't know, um, geopolitics, China and Taiwan are at odds with each other. China wants Taiwan to be back as a part of China. And they don't like that Taiwan is independent of China. So part of their whole political push to their own people is they will demonize anyone in their country, or if they can control it outside of the country, that recognizes Taiwan's independence. This is a big problem to me because it's one thing to push it inside your country, but why should American companies and American video games bow down to that standard? That standard should not be for us, and our government should listen and stand up and say, listen, you guys, y'all want to do that dumb stuff over there and your communist, dictatorship, then go do it over there. But when our people, we have free speech over here. We don't care what the CCP has to say about Taiwan. We can say what we want. And that's the danger of, like, people love talking about, liberals act like they love communism until the people that they don't like get in charge of it and they can't say what they want to say without their whole family being locked up in a concentration camp. And yes, they do that in China. If you listen to some of the people who have came from China, I actually know a couple missionaries who went to China, and I'm not even going to get close to naming them because they're planning on going back. But I've talked to missionaries from China and who have went to China, and they have said you have no idea the amount of how they look at privacy. I remember when I told the story before how I had a friend who was a missionary in China, how he had to hide the fact that he was a missionary and he had to pretend and go under the guise of doing another job. And when he went there, he said, oh man, it's really, really cold in this room. Now, he was just alone in the room with his wife, something like a hotel. He said, it's really, really cold in this room. I wish we had some more blankets. 5 minutes later, they knocked on his door and brought him some more blankets. In the privacy of his home, he was having a conversation. Now, what that lets you know, not only are they listening to you and watching your every move, but they're responding to what you say. So imagine if he would have said, you know what? The president of China looks like Winnie the Pooh. Maybe some soldiers would have been at his door 5 minutes later. Do y'all get how scary that is? They have no expectation of privacy. They have no constitution. They definitely don't have the First Amendment, and they definitely don't have the Second Amendment to protect the First Amendment. Let's not even talking about the rest, because you can't even do the next amendments without 1 and 2. You have to have the freedom of speech, and you have to have a way to protect that freedom of speech. They do not have any of that. The government can come. You guys remember during the cough environment? The government of China was basically locking people in their homes by force. It wasn't that they were just saying, you better stay here. I saw videos of them. What were they doing? They had the what's that tool called? Where they were like using fire to welding. They were welding people's doors shut. That's insane. So always thank God for whatever situation you come out of,